Hi, my name is Warner Chaves. I'm a principal consultant at Pythian. Over my career at Pythian, I've had the privilege of working with several companies that have done video game launches on Xbox, PlayStation, Facebook, and mobile. And today we're going to talk about the 5 best practices to launching your online video game from a database perspective. Number 1, load testing. You want to make sure that not only load test your database, but you load test end to end. From a database perspective, you want to develop a battery of tests that will try to simulate the load that you might see at very high peak times on your database. At the same time, a database administrator should be profiling what he's looking on the database side so that you can catch the bottlenecks quickly and efficiently fix them before launch. That's not the only thing though. You need to load test end to end. What that means is that even if we just test the database, we're still not testing caching layers, we're still not testing application servers, we're still not testing connectivity, and all these things are very important. For that, the most important thing is to do public beta testing. By doing a public beta, basically you get thousands of free test subjects that will love to play the game, and at the same time you'll get really important data and be able to tell if you're going to have any issues once the game launches. So for load testing end to end, public beta testing is the best thing you can do. Number 2, you want to have a modular architecture that is scalable. You don't want to put all the functionality of your video game database all in one server. You want to be able to separate it. For example, if you have a sign-on database, if you have a saves database, if you have a content creation database, you want to put this in separate servers so they're not all competing for resources. You can use physical servers, you can use virtualization, or even you can use a cloud provider to be able to add more servers as you need if you split up in functionality. You want to be able to do scale up if necessary, which is easier with virtualized servers, or you want to be able to scale out as well and make sure that your application will support scaling out to multiple servers for a given functionality. Number 3, redundancy and HA. You want to make sure that your infrastructure is redundant and it's highly available. You want to make sure that storage is redundant, the servers are redundant, the database itself is redundant. You want to make sure that your backups are working. You don't want to have angry gamers on the launch of the game because they lost progress in the game, or changes they did on their characters were lost, or the game is down right after they actually purchased it. So you want to make sure that your infrastructure is highly available so that everything goes over, even on the event of loss of certain component. Even if a storage goes down, you can still keep going. Even if a server goes down, you can still keep going. Number 4, monitoring. You want to make sure that you have good monitoring, both proactive, reactive, and trending for all the pieces on your infrastructure. So we're talking database servers, storage, network gear, caching layers, application servers. You need to be able to trend them so that you'll be able to catch any issues that will happen over time. Usually at launch, you'll have really high peaks of volume, and there might be some pieces of the infrastructure that are not as prepared for that kind of load. There also might be some parts of the game that are actually more popular than what you expected. And then what happens is that, let's say for example, a storage starts to run out of space. What happens is that the storage appliance, the IOPS capacity, starts to hit the limit. Your CPUs, the memory, the network capacity on your pipe, all of these things could become an issue if there's unexpected growth of the game. So what you want to do is to be able to be monitoring as soon as the game launches, and really detailed monitoring all throughout every single day after the launch, so that you can trend any type of capacity issue where you might be going to hit a limit. And number 5, follow the sun. You want your staff to be wide open awake to be able to take care of this infrastructure and to take care of any issues that come up. Gamers nowadays, again, they just game 24/7 all over the world. So if there's a problem at 3 a.m. North America, you still want somebody to be able to jump in and fix it that is going to be awake. You don't want to have somebody that has been working full-time the entire day or has been working really long shifts that might make mistakes. And you want this follow the sun capability not only on your operational staff, but also on your development staff. Because for example, a bug in the game that does, let's say, a bad database query could take down an entire part of the game functionality just because of one query in the game. That's what happens when you have something that is going to be used and run by thousands and millions of players at the same time. So you want also development staff to be able to be wide open awake, to jump on an issue and possibly fix an issue in the game that is affecting the rest of your infrastructure. And that's it. For other tips or any other questions that you might have if you're launching your online video game, come to us at Pythian.com.